Now you're in like 184 countries, you see 150,000 plus listings. How do you fuel that kind of global scale?
One boat at a time, one customer at a time, and that's how you build your business.
What kind of strategies are you guys running? Is it performance marketing, organic? Are you doing outreach?
Yes, and yes. It's just a lot of hard work, blocking and tackling, a relentless focus on customer service for as long as we've been in business, 13 years.
For anyone out there that's building a marketplace right now, what's something that they can't afford to get wrong?
In addition to the hundreds of small things that you need to do every day.
Hey, are you Sascha Mornell, the guy who scaled GetMyBoat into the #1 boat rental platform in the world with over 150,000 listings, more than 1 million users and bookings, and nearly 10,000 global destinations?
Yes, this is Sascha. I am the co-founder of GetMyBoat.
Wow. Okay, Sascha. So you took something that used to be high-end, a luxury thing, and you turned it into something that is very accessible and app-based and global. So I'm here in Destin, Florida, right? I had to actually check out these boats, and I'm not gonna lie to you, my curiosity kind of got the best of me. So I figured I might as well just FaceTime them and ask you, what exactly is GetMyBoat and how did this whole thing come together?
Bring it on.
All right, what we got? So let's start with this. So the original vision for this thing, what did that look like and how has it evolved since then?
I mean, you mentioned in when you called me up right away, which is we wanted to democratize something that's been previously inaccessible to the masses. And look behind you there in Destin. The idea was there's a marina there and it's full of boats.
Full of boats.
And we thought full of boats and they're all docked. And we thought to ourselves, wait a minute, this is an expensive asset and people don't really have access. How can we make this something like an Uber or Airbnb and allow people to get on the water simply and easily?
So what were some of the biggest growth levers early on? Because obviously starting a marketplace is not the easiest thing in the world. How did all that come together in the early stages?
Marketplaces are incredibly hard. And so I don't want to be cute here, but I'm going to be, which is a ton of hard work. That and quite a bit of ambition, and some of people might call it a little bit of hubris as well.
Makes total sense. What was the light bulb moment? You might have mentioned it when you realized that there was a strong need for this, but was there a moment? Was it you that had the idea? Was it a co-founder? What was that like?
If you turn around and look at the dock, my co-founder and I, he is a boater, and in the rise of underutilized assets such as Airbnb and Uber and those being monetized, we looked at these marinas and said to ourselves, look, these are really expensive. They're only used, it turns out, 8% of the year.
Really?
How can we more effectively get these assets in use? And it's from a marketplace, it's two-sided. How can we get people out on the water quickly and easily? How can we allow owners to monetize this asset that we previously called a sunk asset?
Did you guys start by getting the people with the boats on board first, or did you go straight to consumer? Chicken
or egg, as they say in marketplaces. Our view was that demand was strong, and like an iceberg, all you saw was the very tip of that demand, meaning that boating was, as you mentioned in the beginning, completely inaccessible to most folks. So we thought that there was going to be a huge pent-up group of people that wanted to get out there when they realized it was easy to do so. So
Gotcha.
Given that, our focus was really on the supply, on the owner side of the business. It's a hyper-fragmented, hyper-local market. And so we believe that our competitive advantage was going to be actually bringing all those people together onto a platform,
right,
and allow renters and customers to easily access that.
Interesting. I mean, obviously now you're in like 184 countries, basically all over the world, which is pretty crazy. 150,000 plus listings. Like, how do you fuel that kind of global scale? Like, what kind of strategies are you guys running? Is it performance marketing, organic? Are you doing outreach? Like, what is that? What are some of the strategies you can share?
Yes, and yes. And that's a little bit of the secret sauce. But anyone that's interested in building a marketplace, I'm going to go back to the response. It's just a lot of hard work, basic blocking and tackling, and taking things market by market. And again, to be cute, it's one boat at a time, one customer at a time, and that's how you build your business. There
Gotcha.
is no secret sauce per se.
Can you talk to me about monetization, how that might have shifted from the early stages?
Yeah, I mean, originally we were actually a free platform. We wanted, it was such a nascent industry and really technology hadn't come into play in this particular space. And so we offered owners the opportunity to come on the platform for free.
Okay.
Ultimately, we did have to monetize this, and like many other marketplaces, there's a take rate on both the customer side and on the owner side, and that it's evolved.
Gotcha. Has it always been an app, or did it start? Obviously, it started out as a web-based platform. When did the app come into play?
So the app came into play when we realized, look, we wanted to reach people wherever they were at all the time. And so it's web-based, but it's also UI native. And you have an excellent experience on a mobile phone with just any type of browser. And then we built the app from there. It really benefits owners who are running their business through the app itself. From a renter perspective, they really don't download the app until they have rented a boat.
The next step.
And so they've already gone through that experience where they're a repeat renter.
What's been the hardest part of maintaining all of this success? Has it been, obviously you have to have strong trust with the consumers, with the boaters. Obviously there's fulfillment, the seasonality of it, right? People are probably renting boats out more during the summer, the seasonal months and others. Like how do you keep up with all of that?
I think you just identified how hard it is on every front. Running a business is hard. Running a marketplace is hard. Again, it's basic blocking and tackling, and you have about 1,000 competing priorities all at once, and you just have to work your rear off. I will say a relentless focus on customer service and the customer. It is something that we think about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and for as long as we've been in business, 13 years, there's been a relentless focus on that.
Right. So when people are renting out things like yachts, Sascha, people are renting yachts, how do you prevent fraud in this type of trust at scale with those types of assets?
I mean, fraud was a huge problem actually before we got involved in the industry. And so a lot of these owners were on their own. They didn't have the tooling. They didn't have the protections. And so having a marketplace with fraud protections and technology in place and guarantees really has helped change the industry and provided a lot of trust. And I think that that's fueled a lot of our growth as well, is that people that own yachts, and usually those are captain, you're not going to go out and take a yacht by yourself.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring some friends, right?
Right, exactly. But that type of tooling and protections that we've provided really has helped change the industry.
Absolutely. So at this point, like, I'm sure you've seen a shift in who's actually booking these things, right? Like, is it more on the luxury side, or is it more like the everyday, person that's going out and just wants to boat for a few hours with some friends?
Yeah, it's been all of the above. And from our perspective, what we did, back to one of my earlier responses, is that we made boating accessible to everyone. So anyone, you talk about a yacht, let's go back to your yacht there. If you get together with 6 friends, it's a couple $100 each for half a day to almost the entire day. We've made this now an everyday luxury, if you will. But we don't just do yachts. We have fishing boats, we have bow riders, we have all types of different boats that are on the platform at different price points. And we really pride ourselves that no matter who you are and what your budget is, that we can meet you where you're at.
Love it. Love it. I'm sure a lot of people that can't afford the expensive yachts really appreciate that.
I hope so. It's an incredible experience.
Do you guys shift your marketing efforts towards what you see working? Like, as far as like, if there's like an overwhelmingly increased amount of people that are ordering a specific type of boat, are you guys targeting marketing efforts towards those people, or is it still pretty general?
It's absolutely hyper local depending on the market. So you're in Destin, and the marketing efforts that we put in Destin are going to be different than down the road there in Miami and Chicago. A lot of times there's event marketing. Like, we saw a huge surge in demand last Thursday, June 19th in Chicago. And it turned out there was some events going on there that we hadn't been aware of, but we saw the spike. And so we can really take the data and target our marketing efforts accordingly.
Right. This is good stuff, Sascha. So you've had like three exits, 9 exits, 10, 3?
I've been fortunate enough to, or silly enough to have 3 exits.
Silly enough. Yes. That's a good word for it. So what have you learned from that? How is it like applied back to what you're currently doing with GetMyBoat?
I'm now actually on the board of directors.
Right.
We sold a majority stake of the company back in 2022.
That's right.
And I had a 3-year stint as founder and CEO continuation. Recently finished that, have joined the board of directors. I think if I were to impart any wisdom about exits, it would be that companies are bought, they're not sold.
Right.
And so when somebody is actually interested in your company, it becomes it's a lot easier of a process than trying to go out to market and sell it.
It's extremely valuable. So for anyone out there that's building a marketplace right now, what's something that they can't afford to get wrong, Sascha? What can they not get wrong? What advice would you have for them?
Yeah, there's no simple answer. It's really hard to build marketplaces. I would say that in addition to the hundreds of small things that you need to do every day and to have the right strategy, you really can't go wrong with a relentless focus on the customer.
Got it.
So what is your customer saying? What are they saying that you might actually not want to listen to? Because actually sometimes the customer has it wrong, but at least listening to that voice. And in a marketplace, you've got two customers, correct? You've got, in our case, the renter and the owner. You've got the supply and the demand. You have to focus relentlessly, again, all day, every day on both those.
So if you were to start over from scratch today, Sascha, and this is my last question, I promise. If you were starting over from scratch today and you had to approach this thing in maybe a different way, maybe do something, maybe there was a mistake you made early on, what would that one thing be?
Nick, I don't do a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking. I think that part of the process and the journey is making those mistakes and recovering quickly from it. I will say this, there's an old expression that if you knew how hard it was to scale Everest, you wouldn't scale Everest. And so I think each and every time I do this, I forget how hard it is. And I would just encourage people that just head up the mountain and don't overthink it.
Love it. So Sascha, last thing, where can everyone keep up with you? Where can they, it's GetMyBoat.com, obviously. They can download in the App Store and Google Play as well. Where can everyone keep up with you?
I'm on LinkedIn, Sascha Mornell on LinkedIn. You can find me. Pretty easy to reach me.
Amazing. Well, Sascha, thanks for taking this FaceTime call. I'm gonna go put some sunscreen on, go get me a boat, and have me a day, okay?
Yeah, get on the water. Stop wasting time.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm gonna go right now.
All right.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Bye.